Max from RME, and I'm speaking to you from the Los Angeles Convention Center, Anaheim Convention Center in California. At the NAMM show, we are introducing the Fireface UCX, which is our new half 19-inch interface, which I'm going to talk to you about now. We have a bunch of inputs and outputs. I'm going to steal this from them right now. Two microphone inputs, two instrument inputs. All four can be used as line as well. Another 4 balanced line inputs at the back. On the output side, of course, the headphone, 7 and 8, and 6 balanced line outputs at the back. On the front, you have an encoder that allows you to recall settings, save settings, and yeah, of course, change the gain, change the input level quickly if you don't have your computer in reach to change it with our total mix interface. A couple of LEDs to tell you if the word clock is clocked and so on, if it's connected to the computer appropriately, MIDI input and output if it receives any signal. Right. So power switch, and on the right side we have an SPDIF input and output, an ADAT input and output that gives you the capability of adding another 8 channels mic pre, for example, 8-channel ADDA converter if you just need more channels than are already on the device. Yes. You have a word clock input and output, a little connector for a breakout MIDI cable that gives you 2 MIDI inputs and 2 MIDI outputs. You have another little connector for remote control that comes with the device. This remote looks like this. It gives you quick access to the gain to recall some settings. You can also program it from the computer to, for example, reload a preset or something like that.
The remote control is not included in the price, it's an add-on.
This remote control comes with the device. We have an add-on remote control as well, which is shipping within the next month or 2, you never know. This remote control gives you additional buttons to, for example, use it as talkback, mono, mute. This is just a suggestion from us. You can also program your own features on that remote control. So, I left out the 2 ports right here. You see the unit has USB and Firewire. This is part of our newly developed X-Core that we introduced last year in the Fireface UCX. We have the same core in the UCX. That means completely redesigned Firewire and USB interface on our core chip. Also the capability of adding effects. So there's a separate DSP processor, and combined this feature set means that our total mix software is actually able in standalone mode, for example, to route just a normal microphone input, add the phantom power, the gain, then it goes through the DSP, it adds, for example, some reverb, as the singers would usually like it, adds some little compression, whatever you want to do. We have a whole dynamic section, so equalizer if your microphone is not that good. So, and then you route it internally in our core to any of the outputs, for example. This works, of course it has to be set once from the computer, but then it works in standalone mode. And it does not require the latency that you get when you go through the computer driver. So it means that you route in the device with the effects and connect a headphone somewhere, give it to the singer, and she will hear herself without any latency. So that is really impressive. At the same time, you can record the dry signal into your Pro Tools without having any CPU load on all of these effects that you've just added. And that is of course not the end. Every output, let it be just an ADAT channel, an SPDIF channel, you can create submixes from any kind of input. So that is a very powerful feature. That is our X-Core technology that's new. So now we have a Firewire and a USB port. RME recommends using USB except if your port is fully overloaded with all kinds of hard disk drives. In fact, we're performing with both very well. The sample buffer sizes in the computer can go, I think the maximum we reached was 13 samples, so it's really impressive.
That means in practice the latency is actually less than Firewire.
You know, the Firewire here too, they are already faster than our last generation Firewire implementation. At the moment I think they're even the same or even a little bit faster than the internal PCI Express cards that we have. That is because of the communication with the port chip has gotten easier over the years, because now USB is just a part of the south bridge of every Intel main board or whatever main board you have. Mac PC, it's all the same. The USB is really closely implemented, so you achieve very, very good transfer rates, and it's very reliable. I love USB. So, but the special thing now is what happens if we import this unit to an iPad, right? Because we have users that actually also own an iPad, and when they connect their unit, of course you need a little adapter. It's the so-called camera. That was just an extension cable right here. You have this little camera connection kit, right? And you connect it to the iPad, and then I connect the USB connector to the back. And now what happens if I connect it right here? Dang, cannot use USB device. The connected USB device is not supported. The developers said, of course, well, the reason for that is that Apple doesn't allow us to use our total mix and our low latency drivers on the iPad. There is no way to install the driver on the iPad. So the interesting thing is that the iOS from Apple has so-called core audio technology built in, and that uses that gives our developers the possibility to build a so-called USB class-compliant audio interface. Now, we didn't want to use only class-compliant because that would restrict the communication with the device too much. For example, the whole total mix features, they wouldn't work anymore because class-compliant only supports audio and MIDI. So, but just in case people still want to use it, our developers have put in two firmwares, and I'll show you now how to change them. I will just disconnect the device. I will go to Setup. Then I'll go to CC, that stands for class compliance. I push and hold the button, it switches to on. Now all the lights flash up, it shows me that the unit rebooted with a new firmware. And now this unit is a class compliant device. That means if I switch it, put it into my PC, Windows wouldn't recognize it, it would recognize an unknown device. On Mac, it would actually work, just in case you forgot your driver, because Mac OS and also Linux understand class compliant devices. So let's have a look what happens if I connect it to the unit now. I have a little application running here that's just one out of many that's already capable of recording multi-track audio. So this one is called multi-track DAW. It's not from RME. RME is not planning to make RME application at the moment. We don't have to, because all these developers use the same class compliant interface. So I connect it right here. You see a little thing popping up that tells you audio USB 8x2. That means that this software now uses 8 inputs, namely the first 8 analog inputs of the unit, and connects them to several tracks. You can see it right here. I can arm a track. This one is called Mono 2, Mono 3, Mono 4 if I want to change it. So the first two are my mic pre's, and then the instrument, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 are the other analog inputs at the back. So I'll continue. This is 4, this is 5, this always takes a little while. This is 7, this one is stereo, so if you want to record a stereo track, it also allows you to take 2 channels as one. Stereo D means channel 7 and 8. So, and now, since I don't have a microphone, you just have to believe me, if I push record and play, it's just starting to record the 8 analog inputs just onto the iPad in full CD quality, or even better. So that is actually a very impressive feature.
It's really cool.
Playing back, the unit gives you the signal. This one gives stereo out. Most applications only give stereo out, that makes sense. But for our users, since we have this core X-core technology, we can just route it anywhere. And by default, the unit is sending the stereo output from the iPad to the SPDIF port, to the ADAT port, first to analog outputs into the headphone. So you can have it at your stereo, you can split the signal that comes from your iPad on stage, it's brilliant. And not only that, the sound quality, of course these are RME's best converters built in. The sound quality is perfect because we do not use the little bit jittery clock that comes from the iPad itself. That wouldn't actually function in a professional environment as a master for a digital system. No, we are actually using the unit itself as master, putting the audio information onto our static clock. So the jitter is reduced. Yeah, we're doing high oversampling inside this for the clock. It's actually brilliant sound quality. If you're audiophile and you want to have like the best possible output, you could also use the FLAC player. I don't have it on this iPad. Load some FLAC files, 96K for example, stereo files into the iPad and play it back on the Fireface UCX. And you'd have all the benefits of having the great converters, and I think that's a really nice application as well. Now, one thing I want to talk to you about yet is that we have this MIDI, and MIDI is also supported by Core Audio. So this means if you are running into these applications like, for example, GarageBand, I didn't mention, also supports recording. You see the inputs channels in GarageBand are now input 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or similar to the other applications, stereo inputs. So GarageBand only lets you record 1 or 2 channels at a time at the moment. But that's enough because you usually go in several tracks and overdub anyhow. So now I can actually also use the instruments from GarageBand and use them by MIDI. So I just make a new project, new song, I'll connect my keyboard, I'll connect this breakout cable and connect my synthesizer. That is one application. Also you can use, I use the pitch bender and everything effects with the Moog synthesizer. It's simply amazing. It's so much more fun putting an external keyboard to the iPad application.
So when will this UCX be available?
The UCX is shipping already.
Right. Nice to know. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.